This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. A government shutdown could happen by tomorrow if the Senate does not pass a bill to fund the government, and two Republicans are threatening a shutdown over Biden vaccine mandates. Two states are giving out stimulus checks, one for $600, another up to $4,000 payments, and there's a $1,200 deadline. Also, the White House is seeking an additional $30 billion in COVID relief funding. When it comes to stimulus and executive orders, multiple Congress members are calling on President Biden via executive order to give out more stimulus. I'll give you the details on that, play you a few different video clips, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 out to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video, but first, White House seeks additional $30 billion in COVID relief funding. What is this money going to be used for? So $30 billion request is expected to include $17.9 billion to fund vaccines and treatments, $4.9 billion for testing, $3 billion to fund COVID-related health care costs for uninsured, and $3.7 billion to prepare for future variants. So nothing really stimulus related there, just more for vaccine and to help out with COVID. Then we have this AOC. Everyone should have student loans canceled, including Harvard and Yale grads. And AOC tells Joe Biden cancel more student loans to have any chance in 2022. So AOC, among a few other Congress members, are calling on President Biden to cancel student loans via executive order. If this does happen, this will be the biggest stimulus check of all. It could either be up to $10,000 or $50,000. So far, President Biden hasn't really done anything involving that. Here is a video clip talking more about the rallies and how Chuck Schumer is trying to get President Biden to sign executive orders to cancel student loans.
Advocates standing alongside Senator Chuck Schumer calling on the president to forgive more than $1.7 trillion in student debt.
I would like to see, at the very least, $50,000 worth of student debt forgiven.
The majority leader says 2.5 million New Yorkers are in debt, and 1 out of every 4 New Yorkers will benefit from canceling student debt.
It affects poorer people, black and brown people, young people more than anybody else. The people who are most affected are the people who need the help the most. And if you say don't do it because I didn't have it, then we shouldn't have had Social Security or Medicare. We always got to improve society.
During the COVID pandemic, Catherine Torres says the emails stopped, but they just resumed, saying payments are due.
I have $98,000 in federal student loan debt.
But she hasn't paid a dime. With interest piling up, Catherine says she's a debt striker, a group of people appealing to the Biden administration to keep his campaign promise to strike student debt.
In the beginning, my mental health took a dive. There's a lot of guilt and shame that goes along with this. I've had to put off plans of owning a home, of starting a business.
Long Island Republican Congressman Andrew Garbarino said he agrees the loan burden is a problem, but the solution is addressing the high cost of school. He said canceling debt wouldn't make financial sense for taxpayers.
The national debt is already so high. Canceling another $1 trillion would add more money to our national debt. Inflation's already ridiculously high. This would then free up more money. It just doesn't seem that this is the right time or the right message.
The president has said he is for modest debt forgiveness with congressional approval of up to $50,000 for each borrower. Senator Schumer says he doesn't need it.
The president can do it with the flick of a pen, and we have a national campaign to get him to do it. I've met with him 3 times on this issue alone. We're going to keep fighting till we get it done.
So what are your thoughts on student loans being canceled? Good idea, bad idea? What do you think about Chuck Schumer's metaphor of saying if you don't benefit from Social Security, should there not be Social Security? Same thing with student loans. Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. Personally, I don't have any student loans, but I'm really curious what you think. So Education Department to forgive $415 million in student debt for nearly 16,000 borrowers who were misled by colleges. So there's been billions of dollars in student loans, federal student loans being forgiven, mainly because students have been misled, schools have been shut down, or some type of scandal. So next one is DeVry University. So about 1,800 former DeVry University students will be forgiven $71.7 million after the Department of Education reviewed voluminous amounts of evidence that suggested the university repeatedly misled prospective students. So that's an example there, but that's not really the big $10,000 to $50,000 student loan forgiveness. Then we have this, up to $4,000 payments given to households who missed out on stimulus check. Act now before deadline this month. So What's going on here? Billions of dollars are available to help people who missed out on receiving any federal stimulus checks in 2021. One-time payment is part of the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund. So up to $4,000 here. So New Jersey's governor set aside $40 billion in federal money to be used to help families who did not qualify for economic stimulus checks the federal government sent out last year. More than 460,000 undocumented individuals did not receive any form of economic aid, including unemployment benefits, since the pandemic hit in 2020. So many essential workers like janitors and kitchen staff who lost their jobs during the lockdown. How much will people receive? So a one-time payment, direct cash of up to $2,000 per eligible person will be given out, and a household can receive up to $4,000. This is only going on in New Jersey. Let me know, should they have this type of thing across the country, or just state by state? Let me know your thoughts on all of that. Then we have another state here. Oregon lawmakers revise proposal for stimulus payments to low-income workers, call for $600 checks. So what's going on here? Oregon Democrats are set to introduce new legislation Tuesday, or this past Tuesday, that would provide a one-time payment of $600 to low-income Oregon workers. Workers who in 2020 received earned income tax credit, a tax break for low, moderate income workers and families, would automatically receive the stimulus payment. So if you live in Oregon, then and you got the EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit, also known as the Adult Tax Credit, you could be getting the $600 automatically. Also, lawmakers in 2021 had proposed sending as much as $2,000 payments to workers who stayed on the job, but I don't think that one went through. Then, in terms of a general forced stimulus check on the Change.org petition for the $2,000 per month to every American, currently at 3,031,000 signatures, and when it comes to a general forced stimulus check, doesn't seem likely, hasn't gained much traction or steam. Don't see any politicians pushing for a general forced stimulus check, so that seems like it's kind of tapering off. Then we have stimulus check deadline for 1,200 is here. So this is referring to the first round of California stimulus checks where it was $600. So 600 times 2, 1,200. That's kind of where they got the headline in this article, basically saying if you did not receive that, the deadline to try to claim any missing stimulus is coming up. So for that. And then we have Senate slips within 48 hours of government shutdown deadline. So tomorrow, Friday, February 18th, is the deadline for the government shutdown. This is getting kind of close. So it passed in the House. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the Senate. So the Senate wrapped up its work on Wednesday night without a deal for how to quickly vote on and pass the short-term funding bill, which keep the government open through March 11th. It will reconvene at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday morning today, a day before Friday's shutdown deadline, without a clear path to an agreement. So they don't know what's going on, and a government shutdown may happen. But then again, if they do pass a short term, it's only until March 11th, which is only a few weeks away, 3 weeks. So and then we're going to have this whole thing happen again. And then what's going on also, as Ted Cruz, Chip Roy threatened government shutdown over Biden vaccine mandates. So Texas Republicans are threatening the government shutdown over Joe Biden's vaccine mandates as the Senate works to pass a short-term funding bill by the end of the week. So with the Senate, you know how it goes. You need a majority vote, and if any Republicans hold out, or even just a handful, or any Democrats, then no funding is going to happen. So in terms of government shutdown, it seems more likely this time compared to the last 3 times over the past 6 months. So I don't know. Let me know. Do you think a government shutdown is going to happen? Here is what Chuck Schumer has to say about that.
Now next, on the CR and on the CR. Before the end of the week, the Senate must come to an agreement to pass a short-term extension of government funding in order to give appropriators more time to complete a year-long omnibus. It's the most responsible thing we can do to support our appropriators as they continue their bipartisan work to finish an omnibus. No one, and certainly not my Republican colleagues, want a Republican government shutdown. So I'm hopeful that they will cooperate with us to pass this necessary CR, which every single Democrat wants to happen, and will cooperate to make sure that it happens. Once again, I thank Chairman Leahy and Ranking Member Shelby for their leadership and for working in good faith to arrive at a year-long spending agreement. I also commend my colleagues in the House, Chairman DeLauro and Ranking Member Granger, Democrat and Republican, for their work. A year-long omnibus is 1,000 times better than relying on CRs, continuing resolutions, to lurch from one short-term extension to the next. I remain optimistic that both sides will keep working together on drafting legislation to fund the government so it can fully serve the American people while keep us safe here at home. And in the meantime, both sides should come to an agreement to make sure the CR, the continuing resolution, the short-term funding of the government, is passed by this chamber and avoid any even hint of a government shutdown.
So when it comes to a government shutdown, it seems more likely this time than any other time, but I don't think it's any reason to be concerned over. If the government does shut down, maybe over a week or two, it doesn't really affect much. I think by the third week is when things start to get serious, and a lot of other things get affected because of that after the third week. So if it does shut down, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on what happens with that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, can I tell you tip of the day because you know, I'm still in South Carolina. I know it looks like in a different place, but let's get over it. Can I tell you the thing that you should really actually do when someone's hurt or you're hurt? You should like really do something really good and help them out because they're hurt. You can't let a person hurt. Stay there. I know you guys would do such a great thing, even better than that. Like help them up or something. I bet you can too. So that's all the advice that I wanted to give to you today. And also this is my sister Kalaya. Say hi. Hi. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. So yesterday I missed the video. I actually had a pickleball tournament. Got second place in that. It was a lot of fun. Usually there aren't too many midweek, early morning pickleball tournaments, but I did that and it was fun, but I couldn't get a video out before then. So sorry about that. Sorry I missed the day. Also with the $200 checks, I have details to that down in the description below. Basically you got to be subscribed to this channel, hit the red subscribe button, and in a few days I'll announce the winners. A few more things you have to do though down in the description below. And if you want to see my latest Wise Buys video on product reviews and all of the stuff on that channel, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.